Yo, so I just want to point out this is therapy for us all. Like week in, week out. We look forward to it. Listen,
Fellas, it's gonna be one of them nights.
It's gonna be. I'm telling you. What's good? What's good? What's good? Welcome back to another Tuesday at 9. Prototype Dad, man. What's going on with y'all fellas?
Man, life's good.
Man, it's good to see everybody, man. Look who popped in on us.
I know it, right?
What's going
Name is
on,
Dex.
Dex? They look like he's trying to fix his audio. Yeah, he trying to get his stuff together. He ain't came on in some months, man. But I was kind of talking to him the other day, and told him tonight's topic, man. He was like, you know what? That's a topic I could probably chime in on. You know what I'm saying? We all know like his history, right? He just got this prototype setup on how he's like planned his life, lived his life. You know what I'm saying? And I mean to be 39 and retired, like, you know what I'm saying, it's a beautiful thing. So, but yeah, we'll wait for him to get back on. But what's going on, fellas? How y'all feel tonight? Y'all feel good?
Yeah, can't complain, man. Can't complain.
Sound like everybody's babies is in the back going wild. Well, Moto, you don't gotta worry about that.
Yeah, I ain't got them problems.
Yeah, you don't got no problem. You said one and done, baby.
One take, Jake.
Period. So tonight's topic, man, is the power family, man. So we're gonna kind of go over what that is, what it looks like. Is it a real thing? We're gonna go a little bit over the power couple. It's something we talk about a lot, and in our society, our community. I don't know if it's in other communities like that. You know what I'm saying? Where people are talking about, I don't know if other races, other cultures are saying, oh, there's a power couple or power family, and they might just be living. You know what I'm saying? But I know we think about it a lot, when we have all these different weird examples. You know what I'm saying? So, man, going around the horn, man, and since Mo, you right there next to me, what's your idea of a power couple, doc?
So we've had this discussion, man, for years. And for me, it's changed, right? So I remember there was a time, man, like I kind of had the archetype in my head of like the Huxtables, right? So I was like, man, I'm gonna be doing great. My wife's gonna be doing something amazing, and then we're gonna have these kids that are, doing amazing things as well. We're gonna have a picket fence and 1.5 dogs and whatever, right? But as I kind of got to the point to where I actually start living that, I was like, this doesn't make me happy. You know what I mean? Like so that was what it was. But currently, man, I think, and again, this is just my take. I think what the power couple or power family is something that it keeps the family running at an optimum level. So for me, I don't necessarily need my wife, I'm engaged, so fiance, to be some power broker or whatever. I just need her to support me and make my life easy in very small, minute ways. Play your role, and everything else will be taken care of. Um, Family's doing good. Kids are being raised to a certain extent. Even though obviously we're a little bit of a blended family because that's not her biological daughter, but man, as long as everybody's running at an optimum level, no one feels like they're being burnt out, no one feels like they're being overused, underappreciated. That's what the power family is to me currently. So I'm interested to see what everybody else got to say.
What's up, Lee? What you got?
I wasn't expecting to go so early, but hey, let me get in. The crazy thing is, man, I don't necessarily like. I don't know. I don't even like the term power family. I don't like the term power couple. Like I don't like that term at all because I think Uh, I really think that it's individuals that are coming together to make it all happen, and it's just it's difficult for me to be like, oh well, we're doing this. Like everybody has to play a role, like Mo said. So everybody's playing the role, and they in their space and they doing everything they need to do. You don't necessarily see the power behind the scenes. You know what I mean? If everybody is, because everybody can't be a star, everybody can't be LeBron. You got to have role players. So you know what I mean? I don't necessarily like the idea of the power family. Like if you're thinking of it in terms of, everybody being a team player and being part of the team and just getting in where they get it, fit in, and not necessarily just husband and wife, but you know what I mean, kids, cousins, grandmas, grandparents and things like that, extended family, then I would call that more of a power family than just the dynamics of one household. Because I think it takes a village to raise them. So it's more difficult for me to even latch on to that idea of this couple and these kids being a power family. So that's my take on it.
Welcome back, Dex. Go ahead and sling one.
Yep. What's up, guys? So yeah, for power couple, I would say just to kind of touch on to what Leafer was saying, but it's a team, right? Everyone needs to kind of be balanced all around. But I think a powerful family is one that can kind of affect people around them, right, and make improvements in other people's lives, right? So maybe people around them look up to them to some degree to kind of help bring them to that level that they're at, right? Move them closer to that level.
Coming up last on the rear. What's up, Hit?
What's happening, fellas?
What's a power couple to you?
Oh man, yo, I think it's sad. It's a sad thing, man. And on the black community, man, we don't really. I think what we've been shown as a power couple has really been to our detriment. I think a lot of times, real power couples aren't given the same stage as others. So, I mean, we all know the tragedy of Will and Jada, which we all, always thought that was our power couple, right? For blacks. And you get examples like I was thinking about Empire. Was it Cookie and Lucius and what I mean? All these different people. But like for me, a power couple was my great grandma and her husband. You know what I'm saying? Like I watched her like take care of this man, you know what I'm saying, until he passed away in his home, just sitting watching TV. And she was there by his side the entire time. You know what I mean? She repaid him. He took care of her children and she took care of him till he left. You know what I'm saying? And they stayed together through everything. And I think it was y'all just said it, like, you know what I'm saying, the power couple isn't, I think it's been measured through financial, you know what I'm saying, financial gain and monetary and what you can acquire together. I mean, you see on Instagram, we power couples, they got all Gucci suits and they hopping out of certain cars. But to me, the power couple is someone who put their kids through college and, you know what I'm saying, stay together, you know what I'm saying, was there when somebody was sick, you know what I mean, pulled each other through, like, you know what I mean, y'all really, you know what I'm saying, like build a legacy together. And it doesn't have to be a monetary legacy. It could be, you know what I'm saying, the things that you taught your children or you taught your grandchildren or you taught somebody else, and it's still paying into the earth. You know what I mean? It's still giving back. You made an impact, you know what I'm saying? A real impact, you know what I mean? Not just a monetary, that monetary gain.
Yeah, let me piggyback on that real quick because that was one of the major things that I wanted to try to say, but I wasn't quite ready to go. Is like that whole power dynamic with it being connected to monetary value. And you had said Will and Jada. My first thought when I was thinking was Jay-Z and Beyonce. Being that prototypical prototype power couple. When it comes to how the black community sees or looks up to a power couple, and it's all about the money and the power to make moves. But man, you don't see what goes on behind the scenes, and we don't really know. Like their whole family dynamic is probably so tight and probably so close. Like, you know what I mean? It's a bigger circle than what we just see as far as being able to make the money moves and things like that. So I think if there was a power couple or a power family dynamic, then it would have to be a whole family scope and not just that monetary thing, you know, because that the money is whatever it is, you know what I mean? But you're thinking about the kids and the next generation, which is pretty much your legacy. You know, that's going to carry you on after you gone.
So I wanted to you say power couple first, right? I know we really want to dig into the family thing, but I wanted to say couple first because some couples don't want kids. You know what I'm saying? So you can't necessarily talk about legacy and stuff like, dude, I just leave them out of the power dynamic, um, if there is one. Um, so I would think like a power couple for me would just be like two people that complement each other very well and get things done together. So if he got a business and like she's doing the paperwork or whatever, wherever the support goes, and that working together like the yin and yang for me is a power couple. You know what I'm saying? As long as y'all two can go ahead and push the needle forward together, to me that unity says power to me. You know what I'm saying? So I would say that's what a power family or a power couple is. Um, y'all already kind of like the next question was, does a power couple or a power family have a monetary value? um I think to some degree it does, you know what I'm saying, because it's a part of um how you get things done, you know what I'm saying. So I think there, to a degree, yes, there is um some type of monetary thing with it, because people will just like reject anything you got to say if you don't got no money, you know what I'm saying. Like you don't got no money, so you ain't no power couple. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I mean, I want to lean towards that's wrong, but people do just, like, oh, you don't got the bread, you ain't no power, nothing. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead,
But
Mo,
yo,
chime
Vic,
in.
but hold on, Vic, let me say something real quick though. Um, I know you said about the legacy and not having kids, but I specifically said that the legacy is not based off of just what you do with your own, but the impact that you have on the planet. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of times when we say legacy, that is tied to like your but you know what I mean, that's the like that's what you leave on this planet, dog, who you was and what you were. But that's all I had to say on that one. I just wanted to clarify that.
So if I drop a bomb for you, that make you blush. That's
Yo, hey, cause you know you'll give nobody no credit, man.
Yo, I'm mad he said you blushed.
Hey, that's that raspberry undertone, man.
Oh man, what's up, Dex? How do you feel? Does a power couple have a monetary value?
So it absolutely depends, like where we live, right? So in this society, to make those moves and stuff like that, money is what, that's the tool we use to do things in this society, right? But maybe if you're living in some different part of the world or whatever, it's about the people that are members of your family, their skills and what they can do within the community that makes them a powerful family. But yeah, over here, money is what, kind of controls all of that. Yeah.
So next question is having a power couple
Hold on,
really achieve?
before you
Oh,
go
okay, go ahead.
past that. So for me, man, man, a lot of the knowledge and stuff that I get, man, it comes from, readings and stuff like that. So my answer, at least for this one, it really isn't even mine, but it's something that kind of ties in. Man, I read somewhere and it was talking about, it was like, it was a group of CEOs. They went on this retreat and they were out in, let's say, Fiji, right? So they were out in this exotic place and there were these natives that were there. They're diving into the ocean and they're getting fish for them, getting coconuts for them and stuff like that. And this group of CEOs, because of their mindset and where they come from, they're like, bro, if you could just, if you could teach us how to do this, we could mechanize it, we could automate it, man, y'all could live in the city, you get mansions and y'all can live an amazing life. And these natives said, well, I hear you, but I'm successful in my own right here already. And they're like, no, because you don't have any money. And the response that the native gave him was so impactful, at least to me. And what he said was, he was like, so, you went through 12 years of school, 4 years of college, and then let's say 2 years for an MBA in business school, and then you had to work all these years to become a CEO, and then work all these hours to come where I already am. I'm already here. I don't need to, like, your scope and your measure of success at the end result. If you're coming here and this is paradise for you, I'm already here. I don't need to follow your path to get to where you're trying to go because I'm already here. And that's what resonated with me when y'all were talking about depending on where you are and kind of your perspective. Because yeah, there is a monetary element to the power couple from our perspective, right? But for their perspective, they were like, do I really need money? I got somewhere to sleep. There ain't animals, biting up my family. When I want to eat, I go grab a melon off the tree, or I dive into the water and fish. And I'm happy. My wife's happy. She ain't talking about she want more than what we got, and we live good. So it's all about perspective. And then there's another quote that I've heard before, where you stand on a subject is determined by where you sit at the table. So that's something that, it kind of resonated with me as y'all were talking about. So from where we sit, yeah, money plays a part. But in my opinion, I think the hope is that at some point, the money don't really matter because we got enough of it to where I'm pushing
back on you. I'm pushing back on you, bro. You be the main one talking about you don't got no bread though. You be the first one to say that. So how you come up with this one?
Because I'm evolving, and it's actually funny. So the more money I get, the more I realize it's not as important as I thought it was.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you, like, look, there's a lot of, so like you think there's a lot of, like, when like what, like the situation if you got like a rich housewife or a rich spouse, a lot of time they cheat with the gardener. You know what I'm saying? They'll cheat with the pool boy. You know what I mean? And their husbands is billionaires because like that we put so much on monetary value on things that don't really make you happy. You know what I'm saying? And you get somebody who can make you happy and you only make $15 an hour. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's for us being in a capitalistic society, right? We're always taught we got to get it, we got to go, because really they just want to tax us more and make us spend more of what we have. You know what I'm saying? It's really a trap that make us spend more money and acquire things and sacrifice the most important resource we have, which is our time. You know what I'm saying? Trying to acquire.
There's a caveat to that. I'm not saying that money ain't important. I'm just saying there's a certain level once you get there. It doesn't have to be the end all be all. So like you said, the housewife just cheating with the pool boy, and like she don't want to go and leave with that pool boy and have struggle love either. She want to cheat in a mansion.
Well, but she's cheating because the mansion's not making her happy. You see what I'm saying? She don't want to leave it because she's comfortable, but she's also not happy.
Your base level comfort is, so it's easy to do what makes you feel good when all your other needs are met. She don't want to go and live in the hood with the gardener. She ain't about to go and live with Chico. She still want to stay with, CEO and still be able to take trips, but, and get that bamboo from Chico.
But she gonna get Chico that punani though.
Look,
she gonna get that Chico stick. You gonna get that Chico stick.
Look, and we about to go there too. You get enough of it, it's not as important anymore either. Yeah. I've learned that too.
I think money. If we looked at it, what it really is, money is just a tool. Like it's a tool to make sure we have and can get what we need, right? You know what I'm saying? To just to survive. But it's not something that you should put the value of, like, put it over life, put it over happiness. I think we just give too much to money. But I think it's important to have it, right? But it doesn't necessarily mean successful. Just because somebody got money don't mean they smart, right? Or don't mean they know what they're doing, or you know what I'm saying? Like, but we'll look at somebody and be like he just said earlier, hey, I can't listen to you because you don't have it, or I'm gonna listen to you just because you have it.
With that said, because we're talking about the money aspect of it, right? And having money don't necessarily mean you're happy. So is a power couple situation, is that even achievable? Is that achievable goal?
Monetarily, or just in general?
in general?
Yeah, I mean, I think, personally, you have to kind of define what that is for you. But yeah, absolutely. Man, like I always say, man, at least for me, man, I'm working towards it. Like there was a time when money it wasn't my end all be all, but it was a very important factor in my life. And like I said, the more I got, I was like, damn, I did all this for that. Like I don't feel great. I don't, you know what I mean? I don't feel like I beat the big boss or nothing like that. I'm just like, oh, okay, I made it to the mountaintop. Now what? So, but I do acknowledge that that's a component to, living the life I want to live. I got to have a certain level of finance, but having a partner who's on my level financially, it's not as important to me anymore. So, back to my first point, as far as what a power couple looks like to me, it's that, man, I'm getting a certain level of cooperation. I'm getting a certain level of assistance, if you will. It's not monetary, but just a certain level of, compliment to what I like. I hate grocery shopping. I hate washing dishes, like stuff like that. Like if she does that and it's not a problem, she's not complaining about it, that's actually enough for me. You know what I mean? It didn't actually, I have to like to be around you and stuff like that, obviously. But those are the type of things that allow me to do what I want to do. And I'm at a point where I feel my capacity financially, I can do enough for the both of us. So I'm not really worried about the financial component of the both of us to Voltron into something and become this, this rich couple. I want us to be comfortable, and I want us to be able to, enjoy the fruits of our labor for the rest of it, man.
What's up, Dex? What you got on it?
I mean, what's the question? What's the question?
Is a power couple achievable?
So, okay. So the goal, I guess, if you work with someone as a team, you set goals together, right? And you work on achieving those goals together, then I think you're a power couple, right? Money and all that stuff aside, like if you can cooperate with each other and move forward together toward achieving a goal, you're a power couple, in my book.
I would agree to that, right? Because, like I said earlier, I think the power couple would be a yin and yang kind of situation. We both do something that pushes the needle forward and keeps the ball rolling. You know what I mean? What's up, Lee? What you got?
Now I was just gonna piggyback on that and say, like, for real, that's real talk right there, man. If you got somebody who compliments you and who is a helpmate, you know what I mean, that sees and understands the goal and is there and ready to support the goal, because they see the overarching end goal is to support and have the best for the family. That is definitely a power couple dynamic, and I think I want to say it's achievable because I feel like I've seen it, but I don't see it enough to say that it's like, you know what I mean? Like it's an easily achievable thing. I think it's something that's worked at. You know what I mean? I think now a lot of people don't want to work. You know what I mean? They don't want to work toward that thing. This is why a lot of marriages don't work, period, because a lot of people don't want to put in that work. But to have that power couple dynamic, man, it takes work and it takes conversation. And you got to be willing to have those tough talks to be aligned, to be able to, to achieve and work towards that common goal.
So everybody spin on that though. What percentage is it like a make it pro kind of percentage? What percentage y'all think of couples think it actually make it to that that's so on power couple status?
Less than 5%.
That low.
I was going to say
50% of marriages as a whole don't work.
Yeah.
And then how many are unhappily married?
So less than 5%. It's like, why even go for it?
Look, now that's interesting. So why are you even going? Why are you trying to go pro then? If it's such a small percentage. So
I mean, because evidently there's something on the other side that there's blissfulness, right, within that 5%. If you can actually make it there,
I think that contributes to the percentage of the marriages that don't work. Because if you both are trying to be power couples and y'all putting all this onus on how successful you're going to be, right? And being successful takes a lot out of a marriage, man. You know what I'm saying? Because you're trying to be successful on your own, right? And so you're pulling away from the marriage, and that's causing that dissension that like will eventually lead to the demise of the marriage. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was saying, like, I think the problem with this power couple is like when you say power couple and like when you first think about it, you think about this monetary thing, like this woman that she got this money, she's a captain of the industry, and then the man he's a mobile, and they come together and they both fly, and that what that creates is like that just takes away from the family structure. Like that's just terrible, dog. Like you think about it, I really do believe like yeah, it's probably like 5 to 10% that can actually accomplish that together. But out of that 5 to 10%, how much of it are going to stay together? Because they're probably going to destroy the marriage and trying to chase the bag. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I think what we were, and maybe we weren't, and maybe I was just going there by myself. But I think what I was trying to say, was that whole dynamic, the power couple dynamic, was having somebody who was leading toward the goal and somebody who was supporting that goal. So not necessarily two separate people going, trying to be power brokers in their own industry, but somebody who is, leading toward a goal and somebody who is all for supporting that goal, whatever that looks like. You know what I mean? I think Vic said something like, her doing the books or something like that, or, taking care of the money or whatever it may look like. But you know what I mean? There's a common goal and you're both working toward that same goal, not both working separately on your own industries and things like that. Because I think that can cause a distinction.
You know what? I want to push back on that percentage too.
But look, go ahead.
So that percentage, right? I would say I seen plenty of that percentage. And I would say it's higher.
Plenty of that percentage.
I've seen plenty of power couples, like not necessarily with our community, but with other communities of like the pizza shop owner, the whole, you know what I'm saying? The mom works in the pizza shop, you know what I mean? The grocery stores, the gas stations, you know what I'm saying? The Indians do it, the Asians do it. Like they work together. Like there was one time I think you were with me, Mo, where we walked in and ordered some wings, and the little kid took our order, and the parents was in the back cooking the wings up.
Is that the time you walked out when you taught me about the health score? Is that time?
Nah, that was no. No, this is that time. I think we were about to go somewhere. So like on the way driving up, we stopped and got some wings. And when we walked in, a 9-year-old girl took my order. You know what I'm saying? And then in the back,
do remember that.
You remember what I'm talking about?
Look, hey, no judgment. Look, we was getting our feet done. I think we was about to go on a trip. It was next door to the foot spot. I do remember that. But to your point, now I'm not really trying to take it there, but it's the reality of it. How you were saying it was foreigners, right? So it's foreigners doing it or whatever. That's kind of my point. In the prototypical American society, man, like I think we're kind of so warped that it's not common. It's not common in the typical American structure that we have. So a lot of times it's foreigners coming because they feel they have to, and it's necessary at least for them to at least get on their feet, but they're not getting to a point of where they're like, okay, now that we're stable, now I'm looking for the next best thing. They actually find solace in being a unit and, growing together. So I'm standing on that 5%. I mean, I can't name many. Like, and I know people who in the prototypical fashion be like, oh, they both getting money, but I'm like, couldn't be me. I wouldn't want to do it that way.
I want Dex to chime in on the dynamics of.
Hold on, before Dex, because we kind of got lost. I wanted to say one thing about what Leifer was saying. I wanted to piggyback on something real quick. So, like what Leifer was saying, I definitely agree. That as far as a power couple, the dynamics can be like a helpmeet and somebody who's their support. But just Mo Better just made the point in American society, that's looked at in a negative fashion. If a woman is supporting a husband, she's more like they look at it like, girl, you need to go get your purpose, girl, or you need to find your way, or don't be up under him and don't be, you know what I'm saying? You need to be like, it's not like that is a foreign thing because they're taught that. But I think,
and that's the problem.
It's a negative, right? Like you said, you look at all the power couples, but you look at the women like in the power couples and how they're looked upon like they're equal to the men. They're not supporting them. they're just together getting the money. You know what I'm saying? And it's a negative thing. I believe that's a power couple. If I'm doing the pizza, you putting them in the oven, and we both doing this together, but that's a negative. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to have your own, girl. You got to get your money. You know what I'm saying? So I think that structure, like I was saying, the whole power, the whole structure is really messed up. And like the perception that they give people on in Instagram and TV and everything is makes it a negative, dog. Like it really, like, I think it's like anti-family.
Go
That's
ahead, let Dex spin, and then I got something.
Yeah, go ahead.
Me?
Yeah, I kind of wanted you to speak to the dynamic of, you know what I'm saying, what Mo was saying, how the power couple structure is who's doing that, right? You know what I'm saying? Because being that, you know, you are Jamaican, right? So you kind of see like that side of things.
So, I mean, I don't know that it's 100%. It's definitely not 100% a cultural thing, a foreigner thing. There are definite African American people that have started businesses and have made them successful by, you know, working with their family members. Like, that's definitely there. But I think all of us maybe could, you know, talk to examples in our own lives of how we've supported our spouse or significant others, you know, to achieve a goal they might have had that would help the relationship or the, you know, what we have move forward, like move our situation forward. Like, for example, me, I know my wife wanted to go back to school a few years ago. So she wanted to get her master's, right? So she didn't have to take out loans because we just paid for that. Like, we paid out of pocket to make sure that was done. You know what I mean? That was sacrifice. You know, we had to do what we had to do to make that happen. But there was a goal. We worked together. She got it achieved, and we moved on from that, right? And I'm sure you guys have your own examples too of, you know, things you might have done over the years as well. But it's not. I'm just not saying that, you know, a family that immigrated to the United States and decided to start a business because they probably didn't have any other education or whatever to get a job or whatever, right? To really support their family, they decided to take that risk, and they worked together because they probably didn't have anybody else to work with them. So, you know, it's out of need, right? Like all problems are solved.
So you're saying if they had an option to and we're kind of going to go into it, but if they had an option to not do it the way they did it, they would have took it.
I don't know that they would have taken it, but they saw this as maybe a way to go, a way to, you know, get their move their family forward. Maybe they see other people in their community doing it that way, and that's what gave them the inspiration. I don't know, but that is a way that they've seen it done, and it was done successfully, so they model that themselves, right?
Yeah. So necessity is the biggest creator of innovation. That's what it is. That's the reality of it. Man, I saw something one time, and this actually wasn't the point that I said I had, but it actually speaks to this one, and it blew my mind. It was a younger girl. Ethnicity doesn't really matter, but so they were talking about, you know, you're not half the women that, you know, your grandmother was, etc. Right? And the lady, I don't say little girl, but the young woman actually said, "Well, yeah, because she had to. I don't have to. I can go get my own education and work and get my own." And I was like, but why is that your mindset? Like, and that right there is what blew my mind. I was like, that's the problem. Like, they're like, why would I want to be up under my man and, you know, help him reach his goals when I got my own? I'm like, we're gonna reach them together. And she was like, no, like, it's about what he can do for me. And if he can't do for me, I don't want him around. I was like, that's the problem.
I mean, I wouldn't say that's the problem. I would say I understand that mindset, and it's probably one that's not new. It's something that's always been there. They just they needed to be under a man to function, right? So, you know, and they're the ones. If you think about it, that's been pitching. Hey, do this, do this. They've been feeding it to their offspring, like do it, go to school. You know what I mean? So you don't need one, blah 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 blah. So they were feeding that. So it's something that was suppressed, that they like. I couldn't break away. I don't want you to feel like I felt all these years. You know what I'm saying? It's more of, I didn't even want to really get on this rabbit hole, but it's more of a thing where I think only men only men really want that legacy, that, you know what I'm saying, that family, all that. And I think women only adopt that because it's a part of being taken provisioning. If it wasn't for provisioning, they wouldn't care about none of that. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I feel about it. I didn't even want to say that because I kind of want to go into what an actual power family is. But I mean, y'all can speak on that if y'all want to, but next question for real.
I guess so for that. So, so no, I mean, I think that's a really good point. So I was at an event. It might have been a baby shower or something like that, and there was one of them conversations going on. All these couples were the prototypical that you would think is a power couple, right? And then there was one that there was a man, and then his wife is a homemaker, and something came up about aspirations and dreams or whatever and goals, and all these other women had their own, like, it was literally an independent goal of the family. And so they came to this homemaker, or I guess that's not even the best thing to call her, the housewife, right? And the housewife was like, well, my goal is to make my husband happy. If you saw the other,
if I had a
faces,
boo button, they all was like boo. I know.
And literally, like, I had to fight them off. Like, you know what I mean? I was Garcon, like, they was ready to attack her. I was like, whoa, like, hey, she said what she said. Her goal is to make sure that her husband and her family is happy. Why is that a wrong answer? I was like, I didn't know there was a wrong answer. You said you wanted to be able to travel. You said you wanted to be able to do all these things. However, her husband allows her to do he makes it possible to do all those things. She does all the things that they were doing without you having to go out into the world and bash your head against a wall trying to get them. I was like, why is that a wrong answer? And that's the kind of dynamic that I've been seeing. And there's more to the story, but I won't get into that.
So look, so typically in society, that wouldn't be a power couple. But the way he explained it, to me, I would call that a power couple.
So I went away from it saying goals. I was like, goals. I was like, I want to make her so happy that her goal is to make me happy.
So, but based off the reaction of everybody in the room, that was like, oh my God, this is terrible, right? You know what I'm saying? It was blasphemous for her to say that. But that's what is being created, man. And like, I don't know if it's handed down from the moms, or is it, like I said, what we see on TV, because the media, TV plays a huge role in how people think. You know what I'm saying? It does. Movies, Wait Until Exhale, all the NAS movies, and that's Niggas Ain't Shit. You know what I'm saying? All those movies, all the NAS.
Hey, bro, that's why it's called programming.
It's NAS. All the NAS.
Look, let's stick with the acronym. but that's why it's called programming, for that reason.
Straight up.
And to your point, like, and I always kind of talk about this. I literally feel like I had the blueprint, and I feel like I got tricked out of it by the world. Like, I literally had an example of being raised by my grandparents. I had the perfect example of how two people work together, do everything, did their family ever wanted. All their kids did everything they always wanted to do. And I let the world trick me out of thinking that was the right template. Like, no, I want my wife to be a lawyer, or my wife to be a doctor. Like, who cares? Like, I want to be happy. That should have been the goal. I want to be comfortable and happy, instead of chasing some imaginary brass ring. And as I'm getting older, man, and I'm sure Vic's even seeing the growth or the the evolution of it, man. Like, a lot of the, kind of the ideology that I previously had, it's not even important anymore, man. And I was breaking my back to do some of these things. Once I got it, I was like, that wasn't that important.
Oh, you ever heard this? This skit. It's actually on a Rick Ross, one of Rick Ross mixtapes, but it's Mike Tyson. And the guy was asking him about all the stuff he had, and you hear him, he was like, all this is garbage. Yo, I bled for
But talk
nothing.
about his belts.
Yeah, yeah. And he
Yeah,
threw
talk
it.
about his
He's like, I
belts.
bled for nothing. He said, yo, when you young, all this means something. It has value. But as you get older, you just want to be happy and you want your kids to be happy. Like that was the truest thing you ever spoke. And that's from a guy who had everything. You know what I'm saying? In the end, that's all he really wanted was to be happy. You know what I'm saying? And for his children and the people around him that he loved to be happy. And I think happiness is almost like suppressed, right? In America. Like they give you everything to make you feel like you're happy, but happiness doesn't really exist. Because the things that they tell us that's gonna make us happy is actually creating the issues before us. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it's why the greatest trick the devil played was, you know what I'm
Why you
saying?
like that, Dex? Why'd I bring that? What that just bring out of you?
I mean, I was just thinking about the whole American dream is the pursuit of happiness, right? Like you're pursuing this happiness that is probably an illusion, right? Like we're all just chasing this thing, but are you ever going to get it? You probably die before you get it, right? So yeah, that's why I was laughing. It's just me.
Gotcha. So let's go into the next question though. What's a power family? Because I would say it's completely different from that power couple thing, right? And I would definitely lean towards it's more of a positive thing. You know what I'm saying? So what's up, Mo? What you got?
In this evolution that I've been talking about, what I've come in, it's still evolving, but what I've come to know to be the prototypical the power family, man, I want, everybody to be doing something positive, for one. And then two, man, we actually like each other. That's the biggest thing that I've noticed. Like since since COVID is when I start working from home. I actually like being around my family now. Like I remember I used to come home and be like, like we like being around each other. So that component of enjoying each other's company and we pour into each other, and I don't take for granted that there's a financial component that we're comfortable. By no means are we rich, but we're very comfortable. And we're gonna be comfortable, for the most part until we die, Lord willing. So with that being said, comfort, we're still aspiring, we still have goals and stuff like that. We're still reaching towards stuff, but man, we're not killing ourselves trying to reach these things, and they're definitely not financially based. So the kids don't have to do, or in my case, I only have one kid, but they don't have to make some of the sacrifices that I made to get to where I am. I feel like I've talked about this the last 3 episodes. There's a certain level of problem that's almost beneath her. Like she doesn't even have to worry about that. And that's the beauty of it. And to me, at least right now, I feel like that's a success for me. Like she doesn't even have to worry about that stuff. So the fact that they can pursue their dreams uninhibited, at least from, let's say a financial standpoint, or from that's not a realistic goal standpoint. That's what's going to be a power family to me, man. We all are enjoying each other, and we're comfortable where we are, but we still aspire for more.
What's up, Lee? Go ahead.
I'll expound upon what Mo said, but my idea and my thoughts on a power family expands way beyond the nuclear family, and really, goes into the greater family, the aunts, the uncles, the cousins, the grandparents, all of that, your extended cousins, because I think everybody kind of plays a role in your well-being in your life. And man, when you got a good family and you got a good support system like that, like you can not only see the power, but you could feel the power, especially when you got somebody in every industry in the family. It's like you got a knowledge base in every industry that you can tap into. You know what I mean? That you could tap into when you need legal advice. You got 1 or 2, 3 different lawyers in 3 different sections of the law, 3 different sections of the law. You know what I mean? When you need medical advice, you got doctors, you got nurses. When you need accounting advice. You got some accountants. You know, you got advice all around. You need some culinary advice. You got some chefs in the family. Like, to me, that's the power family right there, where you can broker the knowledge and the skills of everybody in your family to better each other's lives. You know what I mean? Like, we don't never necessarily have to pay for each other's services, but it's like, hey, look, you know what I mean? I think I just got hit up a couple days ago. It's like, yo, hey, can you cook for so-and-so's, you know, graduation party? Everybody know I'm a chef. So it's like, boom, I come, no problem. You get the food, I got you. Let me know what you want me to cook. You know, you got a family member, got a legal issue. Okay, you got a family lawyer, and you know, oh, hey, boom, you know, okay, if you can't do the case, can you at least give me some information, you know, start me off on the right path so I can, you know, refer me to somebody that you trust. You know, you got some kind of condition going on, you could, you know, go talk to the family doctor or whatever it may be. But, you know, that's the definition of a power family to me, is, you know, being able to leverage those, you know, that family relationship to any industry or any problem that you have in your life, and being able to build off of that, having strength off of the name.
That boy spitting. That might be your best advice ever that you just spit just then. What's up, Dex? What you got on the power family structure?
Yeah, I definitely cannot top that, but I'll just kind of make a little contribution to it and just say, you know, everybody has a role to play, right? Like, everybody in the family, right? So what skills can you acquire as an individual that will help the greater good, right? What can you contribute to the whole group, right? So ties into exactly what Lifa was saying. Like, everybody has a role to play. Build that network, keep it strong. That's it.
What's up, Hit? What you got? You muted. You muted yourself.
My bad. I was definitely was thinking the same thing Leafa said. This definitely been having the ability to leverage, you know what I mean, all the successful people around you. But I would just add to that, not just internal family, but the family that you make beyond, you know what I'm saying, beyond your blood relatives. I think, like, if you look at it from an aspect of community, you know what I mean, the community that we built. Because, I mean, we're on here, we're not, you know what I'm saying, like, you meet people, and when people on this panel, we're not blood relatives, but we family, you know what I'm saying? And I think that it extends more than just your blood relatives, yo. It's the people that you meet in the community. And I think another thing that actually happens when we do that, when we leverage each other's skill sets and different things, is, yo, we got to treat it with be delicate and treat it with grace, man. Like, often, like, we destroy that, like, because we'll leverage something and we won't treat the pure people the way they're supposed to be treated. Like, if I know you build websites, I'm not going to come and shortchange you or expect it for free. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to treat you right. You know what I mean? And do right by you. And I think sometimes, like, we forsake that because who's doing it, and we don't treat them the right way. And that makes them, like, you know what I'm saying, they don't want to do it no more for people. You know what I'm saying? We destroy that community. But I say, like, with that, just make sure that we do the right thing and we protect the community. You know what I'm saying? Like, anytime you actually work on your car, what I tell you. You know what I'm saying? Because I know it ain't gonna be no issue, right? You do it the right way. So I think that's very, very important. Just to add to that.
I mean, you gonna
I got something. So, man, y'all are very right. Literally, this just happened to me yesterday. So we're in the process of selling one of the properties or whatever, and we need an electrician, right? So, man, just coming from where I come from, man, I don't necessarily have the biggest family. So, you know, I have extended families, extended networks, or whatever. So I, instead of actually dealing with somebody I knew, I went on Thumbtack. And again, it happens every time. I went and got somebody that looked like me, gave him a shot, right? So we went through and we're talking the whole time, and he's talking about he wants to network. He's like, oh, you do real estate? Oh, we, man, me and my brothers do it, and you should connect with us or whatever, right? I'm like, do the work first. You know what I mean? Like, I got to see you do the work. And my man cut a bunch of corners, right? And I'm like, hey, man, that's not really like, I'm in real estate. I'm like, that's not going to pass code. You can't leave it like that, bro. And he's like, oh, well, let me call somebody. I'm like, no, I don't need you to call anybody to see if it's, I'm telling you. I was like, that's not okay. And the point that I'm making is sometimes money isn't the most important part of that connection. Like, we're going to have to get to the point to where our network is going to, because the way that our money value is dropping, we're going to have to be able to pool on those resources and people that we trust that can actually barter these things anyway. And that's what I learned. I'm like, man, going outside of my circle, this is the type of stuff that I'm dealing with. And I was like, that's the problem. So I'm getting to the point where, man, I have a decent enough network to where I can pretty much do everything in-house, but I get impatient. And because I get impatient, this is what happened. So, yeah, man, keep y'all networks tight, because in the near future, it might be a reason why we're going to have to use them, because our money might not be worth much.
So, for me, the power family, Leifer kind of struck a chord, right? Saying like it's outside of the nuclear family, and I absolutely agree with everything you said. To focus in on the nuclear family, uh, for me, the power family would be like even through the kids is like the kids got to be right. You know what I'm saying? Like, not only do you have that structure with the mom and dad, but then the kids come out on the other side acting right. You know what I'm saying? College graduates or professionals and tradesmen, you know what I'm saying, whatever might be. But out of jail, and you know what I'm saying, whatever, like, you know what I'm saying, not in the trouble, just everybody doing decent. I think is the bare minimum for the power family structure, you know what I mean? Um, but I absolutely agree to everything you said. Like, to be able to pull from all these different resources within your bloodline or extended family, like, you know what I'm saying, like some of us are, you know what I'm saying, to be like, oh, I can call a chef, my cousin's a chef, or my aunt's a banker, or I got a cousin that's a lawyer, like, you know what I mean, the kind of, man, I'm having this law issue, and I think that's so important, but it's so hard to build just because of what Hit said. You know what I'm saying? It's taking advantage, like, we taking advantage of each other, not treating each other right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand that. That's why, like, anytime I've asked anybody to do, I don't shortchange. Nope. I like nobody. I'm actually probably going to try to pay you more. You know what I mean? Than even what you ask. Like Hit tells me yes all the time, because I always give him more than what he even expects sometimes. You know what I mean? Because that's my cousin. Like, I'm going to look out. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'd rather give him the money than give it to who. Let's keep this thing going back. You know what I mean? Because he's going to buy bottles with it. We going out later. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it don't even matter. It don't even matter, right? So
hey, that's the subliminal shot that y'all talking about last. I hope y'all caught that. That was subliminal.
It was caught, bro. So what you want to say, Dex? I just see your fingers moving, like, you know what I'm saying? So are you looking at the question at the bottom? Okay, I don't know. But but yeah, man. So like I kind of had another question, like, is the nuclear family absolutely necessary for this to build it? And how do we build this power family? Because it seems I think we're all agreeing that that's achievable. So where do we start?
I'll spin. I think it starts with picking the right mate.
Go ahead and elaborate. I got something out, but I don't want to jump the gun. But go ahead.
So by picking the right mate, again, I think people pick right now. People are picking mates out of their current situation or their current necessity. If you pick a mate based on the end goal or where you expect to be, I think you'll be better off. Now, granted, I know some people will be like, you might not be able to get her because you don't have what you need or require to get that woman. But that's the problem. Don't pick somebody for the interim if that's the case. But yeah.
So you're saying don't pick at all until you get
until you're ready. Like so don't go shopping in the bargain bin when you know that's not what you want.
Lee?
Yeah, no. I agree completely with Mo. Like I was back here like, oh my, because that was right on my tongue. It's like, yo, pick the right mate. Because that is the most essential and key part of any relationship, marriage, partnership. You know, I mean, it is so essential to pick the best mate for you, because at the end of the day, like, you want somebody who is going to be able to compliment you. You know what I mean? Who is everything that you aren't. Like, you know what I mean? I don't need somebody who is the same, who's everything that I am. That helps me none, because I am the best me. You're not going to out me. So for me, I need somebody who's everything that I'm not, in order for us to chart this course and get to where we're trying to go and do the best thing. So like picking the right mate for you, you know what I mean? Whatever that might be, man. I feel like, you know, that is the optimal starting point for anything that you're going to build. Now, if you're a good teacher, maybe you can start with some raw product and you can mold the things out of clay and get them the right thing, man. People change. Like like every so many years, people change. So now you already have this unworked product that you're trying to mold into one thing, and then they change it to a whole different thing in the next few years, and then change it to a whole nother thing in another few years. Like that's ridiculous. It's too much work, and I don't know how you can achieve the goal that you're trying to achieve if you're constantly in teaching mode.
I think teaching. I'm gonna let you go, Dex, but I think teaching is a part of the process. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't get around not teaching. You know what I'm saying? It's your job to teach your wife, your family. It's in your job. You know what I'm saying? You can't get around it.
I think it might be your job to give counsel. Teaching is teaching. I think goes beyond what you're supposed to do. It's your job to give counsel and create structure. You teach. I don't know that teaching is the right thing. You can explain who you are,
Teach.
and you can. Yeah, I don't know if that teaching is the right word.
Never have I ever met somebody. Never.
You got to teach somebody how to treat you.
Yeah,
like you said, like you said, can't nobody out me. With that being said, she don't have a crystal ball. You have to teach her what it is that you want. And there's also a saying that there's no such thing as bad students, only bad teachers.
But is that teaching or telling? If you could explain to somebody what you want, is that teaching? You can say, I want this. This is how I want to be treated. I don't know if that's teaching. That's just telling somebody something.
No, but you still have to teach them because they might not get it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and show them an example. Do X, Y, Z. Like, you know what I'm saying? But you even got to get them to understand the concepts. You got to teach. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's math. You got to teach them the concepts. Like, you don't want to teach them 1 + 1 = 2 because that's all they will know. You got to teach them that how to add.
Somebody knows something, especially if it's somebody that you plan on being with forever and y'all growing this together. Show them. If you want to
shut the hell up. Show them. Shut the hell up, Vic and Mo. Let me hear Dex.
Look, you a bad teacher. That's what that tells me. Look, he got frustrated. He a bad teacher.
So I was just gonna disagree on a technical level, right? So I don't think everybody should be looking for mates, right? Like you gotta be not selfish to be trying to, have a relationship with someone, right? So selfish people need to grow up before they want to start finding the right mates, because they might go find a good person, and then because of their habits, they destroy that relationship, right? So that's all I wanted to add. So step 0 is work on yourself, then find a good mate.
Yeah, you spot on, because timing is everything, man. I say this all the time, man. There's a lot of stuff I messed up because of timing. I picked correctly, but I wasn't ready, and I messed stuff up. So timing is very important. And I was busy doing the selfish stuff that was all about me. So no, I agree. So I guess I agree with your point, Dex. I just think that it was a caveat that, again, I assumed that that stuff was already, and y'all understood that. But I'm going to teach. Dex taught us that that's the prerequisite before you start picking.
So 1A and 1B.
What's 1A?
Work on yourself. Work on yourself. 1A. Find the right partner. 1B.
Not even. What he was saying is you can't. You don't even qualify for 1A until you worked on yourself. You don't even get on the board yet. Like, go over there, go sit in the corner and work on you.
I was calling it
And then
step
you can come
zero.
back.
Step zero.
So I think yeah, part of working on you, but I think even before you start working on you, yo, you got to have a plan. I think a lot of times we walk into things with an idea, but we don't have a plan on how to achieve or make that idea a reality. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the times that creates a struggle. You know what I'm saying? Because it starts muddying the waters. Like we know where we want to get to, but we don't know how to get there. And I think that even helps when you picking a mate, because if she doesn't match your plan, then you understand that that's not the one for you. Like it's not gonna get there with you. And then I just say this too, like with picking a mate, like, yo, it's just like she got to be coachable. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to do your research. Like you can't just pick her because of aesthetics or potential. You know what I'm saying? You got to really like. You can't think with your little man. You got to really be sitting there and go and do the proper research. Like I said, the family structure is really huge on how she's gonna be. You know what I'm saying? Her background and different things, yo. Like you got to do your research, man. Like I think a lot of times we don't do proper research, or we'll cancel somebody out because they don't meet certain requirements that we're looking for because we don't really have a plan and know what we're really looking for.
I mean, I think me and Mo about to say the same thing. The family, just because she come from a family structure, don't always mean that she can fit inside the family structure that you're trying to create. You know what I'm saying? I will say, generally, women are moldable, and that's just what it is. They mold to you. That's just who they are. But if they don't see you as the leader, they won't mold to you, and that's where.
But if they come from dysfunction, right? I'm saying if they come from a dysfunctional family, more than likely that dysfunction is prevalent. Like how they handle their issues is how she's going to handle her issues, because that's what she learned.
Well, sometimes
like
because but there's always
prior to you.
There's some people that do the opposite of the dysfunction,
and that's why I hit fixed it. That's why I said mostly, because that's actually where I was going to go. I was going to say, it's not an absolute, but mostly, you are what you come from. You are what you saw. But I have seen scenarios where they did the total opposite. Like they saw all this dysfunction. They're like, I refuse. That's not going to be part of my life. I'm going to do it the total opposite. Versus I've seen people who came from the prototypical, American type family, and they were like, I'm not going to do that. They were ashamed of their mother. And I was like, she's an amazing woman. And he's like, I could never. So always keep your eyes open and properly vet them before you pick them. And in my opinion, there's nothing like in the vetting process when somebody's upset. I don't want to say test them, but don't pick until you've seen them react to adversity. That's when you're going to see who they really are.
But he's so smooth with the wordplay. Which you want to finish our hit?
Nah, that's it, man. That's it. All I would say is this, man. And I'm just telling the people who's watching this, man. Yo, just don't never trust a big butt and a smile, man.
Nah, just touch a big butt and then smile. But what let me hit with the last though. Well, one thing I will say is, man, I don't, when y'all talk about vetting and things like that, but what I always go to is like, man, people change like so often, so randomly, and sometimes it's just based on environment, sometimes it's based on circumstance, sometimes it's based on a lot of things. So you can judge somebody off how they are, how they react to adversity in the beginning, but as you said a few times in this recording, Mo, is like you've been evolving, and people do evolve, people do change, and people do see things differently. So it would suck to make the wrong choice based off of early assessment, you know what I mean? And then you miss out on that growth, and nobody's saying you got to marry somebody, right away. Sometimes it just takes time for somebody to become who they are meant to be. You know what I mean? And that's what I mean by people aren't willing to put in the work, because sometimes it takes the work to get to this space. You know, you got to be willing to deal with some shit. You know what I mean? In order to reach the gold at the end of the rainbow. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to go through the muck. You know what I mean? And it's not saying it's got to be the worst type of muck, but I'm just saying, like, sometimes there's just things there that you got to work through yourself and they got to work through. And you know what I mean? It just is what it is, man. Relationships, marriage, it's work. It's not easy. None of that is going to just come easily. You got two different people come from two different places with two different ideologies and ways they think. So you just have to, you know, you got to be willing to put in the work, man. I think those who are willing to put in the work have the most success.
But the problem is this too, though, right? We talk about, so I said you gotta have a plan, right? But how much, when you put in all that work, how much does that take away from your original plan? Trying to mold this person. Do I have enough time to, you know what I'm saying, to get this person on board? Like, how much time and effort is it going to take? And is that time and effort going to knock me off of my goals? That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, everybody get coached, but if we do like a sports analogy, I don't have 2 seasons that get you up to speed to be my quarterback, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? If you're not that person, then we got to move on because we're trying to win championships. You know what I'm saying? I can't get derailed. So I think, you know what I'm saying, she's still, like, you're going to be a coach, but it's just how much coaching they got to have, like, they got to have those intangibles, you know what I'm saying? And and already have the groundwork laid, and you're just kind of just tweaking things. But for start from scratch, how much can you give before it take away from you?
Sounds like you like the Cougars. That's what it sounds like.
Well, what I'll say is that what I'll say is that, you know, when you say it's taken away from the goal, what I would think is that they would be part of the goal, because in the best scenario, they would be helping you to reach the goal. So my thing is, like, why would you discount them from it? Because now you're doing double the work, you know what I mean, to reach your goal by yourself, when you could be saying, hey, look, this is my vision. This is what I'm trying to do. Is this okay with you? Is this something that you are okay with being, you know, supporting and being on board with, and have that communication?
She gonna say no. If you gonna ask her like that, she gonna be like, nigga, kick rocks.
Hey, man, but I know
you soft.
But there's people who,
is this okay with you? Man,
there's
kick rocks. Get out of here, Ling.
There's people who are gonna say. Yeah, but the woman who's gonna say that is the woman who ain't really for you anyway, because she gonna be out for herself. She ain't down with the team. So that's the girl that you set out. You do what you gonna do.
Because you gotta grab them by the back of their neck and be like, "This is like, no, I'm just."
Yo, but there's a lot of dudes. So there's a lot of dudes, right? That you know what I'm saying.
Just keep y'all for more than an hour.
Right? He said, "Yo,
show over." Okay, man, Rambo over there.
He said, "Yeah." Hey, that these days in
time. They want that, but go ahead.
But yeah, I think that, like, you know, we talk about, right, like time and how much time that we really have, man. I think that the window to success is very small, man. And like, if you're trying to drag somebody along with you, I get it. You go on and count, but that's going to start taking away after a while, because you're not able to push forward. You see what I'm saying? You're always going backwards to go get her.
I disagree. Like what they say, Samuel L. Jackson didn't even become the Samuel L. Jackson you know till he was 40. There's actors who didn't even start till they was 50, 60, 90, and then now they're big actors that you know. So what I'm saying, man, is like, you know, the journey is long, and sometimes you don't get where you're trying to go when you want to go there. But at the end of the day, you know, there's a plan for you, and there's a time for you to get there. So my thing is, like, you can go through the wilderness for 40 years if you want. You know what I mean? You could go through the wilderness for 40 years because you want to chase what you think is comfortable for you, or you could work out for a couple years, get you the person that's right there for you, and then, you know, you be good for the next 40 years. So it's up to you. Go work for 40 years and then have your person for 2 years and then croak, or you could work for 2 years and then have your person for 40 years. How you want it.
It did what? It did what?
Man, hey, I appreciate all y'all. And that's another prototype dad. We out.
Good to see you, Dex.